is how to write an acceptable thesis proposal. Thesis proposal writing has been a Herculean task for postgraduate students. If you look at the topic itself, it says acceptable. It's not just writing the research proposal, but an acceptable research proposal. So the professor is going to take you through a journey on how to write an acceptable research proposal. May I have this opportunity to call in Professor Dato Mohammed, who is a lot of, actually I don't want to read through his brief biography, maybe he might do that himself, because if I start reading his biography, it will take the whole day. So many accolades, so many awards, so many titles here and there. So I'll call him with my great pleasure, and when I say, let me just call in the professor to do it himself. So Professor, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Doctor. Not yet, Mr. Abu Bakar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good morning to all of you. I thought they're going only about 10 or 20 postgraduate, but we have hall here, so but anyway, I'm very happy that you are all here. What I want to do today, actually, I've been in UPM for almost 40 years. Many of you were not born that time yet. Yeah? So I started teaching in 75, and I have supervised maybe over 100 masters and PhD students in UPM, other universities in the country. I have been external examiner to many universities, both national and international. Yeah? I don't want to talk too much about myself, but what I want to do today is actually, it's not coming from a textbook, how to write a winning, acceptable proposal, but based on my experience. I would like this session to be informal, because we are going to have a series of this. So I would like to get some input from you, how to improve the supervision, your research, and also supervision. Yeah? Okay? So please, anytime you can interrupt me. Ask me any question, I will try my best to answer. I don't have any, you won't be penalized for asking questions, okay? I think there are many international students here, and also postdoc. Where is Dr. Hamid just now? Where are you? Oh yeah, okay, he will help me, yeah, and share his experience. Okay, just a little bit more about myself. I'm also, in charge of, I'm also at the Ministry of Higher Education as a chairman for many grant committees. In fact, I just came back last week from 3 universities. And also I've been teaching lecturers, professors on how to write proposal for grant. But today it's going to be only strictly on research, your masters and PhD. So I'm going to just talk on general matters, but towards the end, maybe in the second hour, I will give you some example which have been submitted to me just 2 days ago. I printed last night. One example is for masters and one example for PhD. I would like this to be hands-on. And after this, if you think this is useful, we will tell GSO to conduct another series, another round, maybe for more writing proposal. You come up and we do exercise. I hope we can share. Don't be shy to show your proposal here. That is later on, but today is just the introduction. Okay? Still people are coming in. I'm doing this voluntarily. You know how it started, because I saw the content of some of the courses being given to students, and I wasn't very happy, so I wrote to the dean. She's the Vice Chancellor. I said I would like to volunteer, share my knowledge with all of you. Yeah, okay. So if there's anything, like I said, please interrupt me. So before we start, anything you want to ask before we start? Yeah? Okay. I assume all of you here are in the Master's or PhD program by research, right? How many Masters by research? Okay. How many PhD by research? How many just want to sit down and listen, not doing research? Masters by coursework. How many undergraduate? Nobody, yeah? And all are UPM students, right? Anybody? Because I saw the advertisement is also open for students from other universities, because different universities have different regulations, yeah? Because I've been external examiner for, I think, 10 universities in this country, and also overseas. Okay, so all are UPM students, no? Okay, so we will... Masuk, please sit down. Okay, now, first the general thing. Why everybody is so quiet? She's my master student. I don't like to talk in front of the computer. It distracts my attention. Okay? So I would like to talk just going around like this, just like a singer. Yeah? Alright? Make it informal. Acceptable proposal. Okay, let me, the next slide. I will go very, very fast on this. Then we go to the example. Just like Tom Jones, you know, just walking down this. Okay. Now, this is what I meant by having you involved. Yeah? If you just listen to lecture, take down notes, you go back, nothing happened. But if you are involved in doing proposal together, and we are all involved together as a team, then you will learn more. Tell me, I will forget if I tell you today. Yeah? Show me, I might remember. You might remember. Involve me, I will understand. So that means I will get your involvement, and I've got already 2 proposals. Later on, nobody should be shy, because you are here to learn, right? You are here to learn. You are in Malaysia to gain not just a degree, you know, not just a master's, not just a PhD, but what? Knowledge. Hey. Oh, sorry. Okay, knowledge, right? So that when you later on join the workforce, or you return back to your work. Okay, next slide. Okay, we have 2 types of students, even in this room: international students and Malaysian students, and different sets of problems. So many problems, but so many opportunities, so many challenges. So I've been involved in supervising students internationally right from 1970, when nobody else at that time, very few, was supervising students, because like Mr. Abu Bakar said, where's Abu Bakar just now? Yeah? I have so many grants. So in the 80s, 70s, I was the first Malaysian. I'm not trying to boast, but to tell you, because I'm very passionate about research. I like doing research, and I love students. Students are all like my family. I don't treat students as student. Yeah? If you are my student, doesn't matter you're Chinese or Indian or whatever, Nigerian, you are my family. So as a family member, we talk like father to son, right? Because you are still young. Those who are about 40 and above, you are like brother or sister. It's easier that way. No barrier. But of course, don't climb on my head, you know. And don't take advantage of me because I don't have any more hair. Okay? Right. So I have students from all over the world. So what is the problem? This is the three main things that I found out. One is the language. Not only international, not only Malaysian also now becoming very serious, the English language. So some are very good, but many are struggling. I still have 2 more theses, which we have to do editing. So now there are editorial services and all sorts of things. So language is a big problem. The other problem is scientific critical thinking. What is it? When I talk about scientific critical thinking or writing, you have to answer what are you trying to do? Yeah, what is the project you are trying to do? How you are going to do it? Why? Why is the objective? How is the method? When, where? All those, if you can answer all those, then it becomes critical. You will understand more, you will appreciate more when we give some examples, okay, after this. Then the other problem is your background. We have students, they come here, they have social science background, but they want to do Masters or PhD in biological sciences. Big problem, so we do not allow. Yeah? So people like to shift fields. At least, please, if you are in chemical engineering, do a project in chemical engineering so that you understand the basic. If you are in mathematics, do it in mathematics. If you are in forestry or related field of environment, please do your research. But many students, when they come, they ask about money first. If there's money, there's research grant, then okay, we'll talk about that later. So next, the other one, this is problem with supervisors, which maybe, okay, how many, all of you here are in your first or second semester, or in the third or the fourth? All you? All right, good. Yeah, because if you fourth semester and you are still writing your proposal, you're having problem. Yeah? When I was studying in North America, I studied in the United States and Canada. The first semester was spent, that time there was no computer, no laptop, no WhatsApp, no handphone. So the first 4 months, my professor said, Nick, you want to come here to do what? To America. I said, I want to study. I want to earn a degree. I want to gain knowledge. Okay, 4 months, stay in the library. Look for the literature in this area, what you are interested in. So solid 4 months doing literature review. And this is one of the biggest problems with our students. Many do not do a comprehensive critical literature review. In fact, on literature review alone, I can lecture for 3 hours how to do literature study. And you are lucky now, you have at your fingertips. You just Google it or go to any journal, it's all there. You know, when I started doing my PhD, like I said, no computer. We had to read every journal in the library. We had to analyze our data using calculator. Now you have all various software. And that is a problem also, because once you have a software, you don't understand what is analysis of values. A lot of students don't know what is standard deviation, what is standard error. So all this you must know. Okay? So, I'm on another topic. So problem with supervisor. Okay, this is. I'm sorry, but I hope none of supervisors are here. You will encounter in your journey here UPM 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Supervisors very experienced, very good, and they treat you. They want you to learn. They will guide you. A supervisor is supposed to guide you, but there are many also. There are some I do not know. I've never done a survey. But I've seen supervisors who are really not fit to be supervisor. I'm sorry to say that. If they want to be mad at me, it's all right. Yeah? They do not, can't even write, can't even supervise, can't even edit a proposal. They just want to become supervisor so that they can be promoted. Anybody want to dispute me, go ahead. Want to report to the Vice Chancellor, go ahead. I don't care. I'm going to tell the truth so that you won't get into trouble when you. Sometimes they are very nice with you. What's your name? Huh? Tom. Lo. Sometimes they say, hey, Lo, come, we have a drink, coffee, you have beer or something like that. No, and you drink beer. Huh? So, because they want to get their KPI, they want to get promoted, they want to get student. But they allow these supervisors. So please avoid. If you see this kind of people, the best thing, change. You must remember your right. Your right as a student, you are paying, you are paying for your studies. Yeah? And the supervisors, the lecturers actually are earning their living from the fees, from the government money. So we have to educate you, supervise you, guide you. Yeah? So this is a problem. So students, they're scared of the supervisor. So if your supervisor is no good, but you must also mirror yourself. Look at yourself in your mirror, in the mirror. If you are also no good, and you have also a supervisor who is no good, that's okay. Both better quit the university. Okay? So please, they might be very friendly because they want students. But after one semester, you will know that person. You see, the supervisors who are not good, there are many types. Some are really good, but they are very busy. They have administrative work, consultancy work. They have 20 students. They don't even have time for you. But you better, you want to stay on, it's okay. The other thing, the other group of supervisors, they don't know how to supervise students. Okay? Dr. Hamid, you have met some, right? You see, we have a proof here. So, the supervisors, the lack experience. Another one, many of us, of course, when we do our graduate program, Masters or PhD, we need money. Okay? We need money for the research. Okay? Research, chemicals, traveling, all this. There are some who are rich, they have their own scholarship. Some international students, Malaysian students have their own scholarship, so they can survive on their own. But most want to get some financial support to do the research. Not the daily allowance, not for your top up, not for your gasoline, for your petrol, for your car, no. Not personal, but research. Material, traveling, assistant and all this. So please try to look for supervisors who have research grant. Then you have less problem. Unless you bring a lot of money from Nigeria, Mr. Abu Bakar, or from Saudi Arabia, or wherever, unless you have your own money. And I've never had a student who has enough money to support the whole program. They have money to support themselves and their family, but not to do the research. Especially international students, or even the Malaysian students. But there's money, quite a lot of money. But if you have supervisors who do not have money, that's the first sign of problem. Who do not have research grant. Yeah? Because you need this money for your research expenses. The other one is laboratory facilities. But in Malaysia now, I think we have almost everything, analytical equipment, whatever you name. If not in UPM, nearby universities, we have so many universities. So this is where the supervisor also must have linkages. He must be well known in UKM, in Uniten, wherever, and he must have friends. And this is where also in your committee, when they start up a committee, please have a say. The students forget that they have the right to change supervisor, they have the right to select committee members. But because you do not know people, then ask. Go and ask around who are, people who have sophisticated equipment that I would like to use in UKM, for example. So even now you don't have to, you just Google and you get the information. And tell your supervisor, please, I would like to have this person to be on my committee. Okay? So far, understood. This is another problem, but Malaysia has all the equipment, if not in other universities, in research institution, in multi, in medical institute or medical research. So this is where the role of supervisor is important. Do not expect somebody from Iran who just come for 1 month to know people in IMR or UKM. So the supervisor must help, must guide. That's why I use the word guidance, as a brother, as a father, information. But if you're a supervisor, I'm spending more time on supervisors, they might be screaming at me. It's okay, no problem. Okay, then time. That's why I said just now, the supervisor must have time. I am a very quite busy man. You can ask Azira. I get paid from UPM, but I work with 3 ministries, Ministry of Science, Ministry of Education as advisor, no pay. I work for free. Ministry of Education and Ministry of Natural Resource. So, but mostly at the Ministry of Education looking after giving money to researchers. So, just before I was at one university, before that I was in the East. Before that I was in Korea for scientific meeting and also giving international grant. So I'm quite busy. So time. But you can ask Azira, I always find time for my student. At least once a week we meet. Azira I meet every day, if not personally on the phone. So she's finishing her thesis. Okay? So time, very important. Some supervisors, they give also of thesis. Yeah? But if you're too busy, you better. Remember, point number 1, under the graduate school ruling, you have the right to change supervisor. Yeah? But very important, choose the right supervisor. That's why when you come here, during your first and second semester, you are not being given a supervisor. Please understand this. You are given an advisor during the first semester. Many of you in the first semester? Yes. Whoever is you are meeting, a faculty member, is only an advisor. Okay? After you know how things work in Malaysia, in UPM, and then during the second semester, you appoint your supervisory committee. Okay? So it's up to you. Maybe the advisor become your chairman, but don't think that the advisor has to be chairman. No. Please remember your right as a student. Fight for your right. Yeah? But many students are scared because they come here all the way from all over the world or from Malaysia. So your right as a student. Okay, first semester advisor only, not chairman. But sometimes you like the person, he likes you, they have everything that I mentioned. Okay, go ahead, become the chairman of your supervisory committee. And then sit down and for masters, it doesn't matter the number, but at least you must have 2 other committee members. It can be from UPM, research institution, or another university. But at least 1 more from UPM, just in case your chairman of your chairman, something happens, transfer to another university, get shot somewhere, die. No? So you must have somebody in your committee who's from UPM. But the third one, you can have somebody from another place, either research institution, depending on the requirement for, if he has a grant, then he can support you. So it doesn't matter, maybe Mardi grant, maybe UKM grant. So the committee composition is very important. Sometimes sometimes in UPM, they just appoint on themselves and you don't even know. They just appoint their friends who do not function as supervisory committee member. This is a very big in UPM where the other committee members don't do anything. They just get the name to be in committee in the papers. I'm sorry to say that, but it's happening. Not that rampant, not that, but it's happening and it's very sad. That's why your role is very important. You know, you are more. Mr. Abu Bakar. Okay. Okay, so thank you. Where was I just now? Supervisory committee. So very important. You're right as a student. Please do not be scared. Believe in God, those who believe in God. And God has a way of working things out for you. So, ask senior students, ask for their advice. How many in the third semester in this hall? Nobody. All in the first. How many in the first semester? Oh, many. Okay. So you just came in not even 1 month. You don't even know where Saddam the campus yet, right? You still get lost in campus. Okay, right. You are just searching for the right cafeteria where you can eat, housing and all this. All right, this is a good start. That's why when graduate school asked me to give a lecture, I said I would like to get to meet the new students first. Yeah, because students in their 5th, 4th semester, different problems. Problem of writing thesis, different. Problem of statistics, different. Problem of wife not living together. many husband having second wife and all sorts of things. Yeah. Nigerian especially, sorry. Just joking. I'm Mr. Babakar, just joking. Okay? So that you won't fall asleep. Okay, now, before writing. Okay, any question first? Please make sure you know your right, and your right is written in the university constitution, in the guidelines of graduate school, in the guidelines at the faculty. So know your right. Don't just blindly follow a blind person. You follow a blind supervisor, you go into the forest, both are blind, you get lost. Very simple. Right? Okay. Know your right. That's why if I can get across this message today to all of you, your right, and fight for your right. Don't go and fight with your fist. Yeah? But don't bang the table with your supervisor now. Talk nicely, negotiate, Okay? If not, we'll be fighting. I'm not trying to instigate fighting here, but most important, know your right and exercise your right. Follow the guidelines. Ask for advice from senior students and other faculty members. There are many people on campus who are willing to help. See, we have few people who tarnish the image of UPM. Okay? Clear? Clear? It's okay you don't know where you are staying yet now or where you are going to eat, but please, as a first semester student, know your right. I've talked about the supervisor, I've talked about I've gone through this in America, in Canada, and I have seen a lot of students from Malaysia and overseas. But in terms of language, English, do not worry. I have students who come from Laos. When I was a dean, I was invited by the Laos government and Cambodia and Vietnam to go there to recruit, because they want their students to come to Malaysia. So when I interviewed them, they do not know a word of English. Yeah? But we, from Laos, I think we got about 30. The German government gave them money for scholarship. And they did very well, because we have English courses. Don't rely on a supervisor to write a thesis, please. Okay? Or pay somebody from outside. We can detect that. Yeah? Okay? Another, what is this? Question to ask yourself before you write proposal. Okay, this is proposal. We are going into a proposal already. Anything before that? Good, you are in your first semester. Any question about housing, about money? There's a few banks here. I cannot help. You have to go to the bank. I have quite a lot of money in the bank. If you minus the others, that belongs to others, that belongs to me. Okay, any question? Anything? So far, has it been useful for you? Please, the important message, you're right. You're right as a student. Yeah? The way I look at students, you come from far or near, you have your parents, if you still have parents who have high hopes in you, for you to be successful, and it is a crime, it is a sin if I do not take care of you. That's my philosophy. But like I said, don't climb on my head, it's going to be a problem. I have students who have failed with me. I've given him everything, but because this isn't a big problem, plagiarism, cheating. We have quite a number of students who cheat in their data, all this sort of thing. So that one is a different issue. Today the topic is to write how to write a proposal. Yeah? Okay, I think I don't have to go through this. I want to give an example. What is your research question, purpose, how important? Okay, next one. Format. Okay, this is the normal format. Yeah, you must have a title, a summary, introduction, review, method, output, estimated budget, references. You want to copy this now? Actually, it's in the guideline, graduate school guideline. And thesis has a few formats, yeah? But that one we talk about later. That is the third series of the lecture. Dato. Sorry, they give only me one bottle. So, okay, what I do with my student. Okay, you come, get settled, find a house, wherever, you know. In the second month, I meet my student with. I would like you to come up with only 2-3 pages of what I call pre-proposal. I discuss with my student, this is my research, if I have research grant, this one is about composting, this is about forestry, this is about atmospheric chemistry, and choose whatever you want, which is relevant, which you have some basic background, your degree is in that area, and go back and think, search the literature, come up with 2-3 pages. One page is good enough. I just want to see whether your research idea fits into what I want to do. No need to write 24 pages of proposal. That's what I do. In fact, I've done that with somebody from Iran, but when I check with the GSO, there's some other problem. Okay, so that's the format. Okay. Common mistake in the proposal. I think this one we will take an example from what I received from GSO. Grammatical mistake, no statistic, the method not scientific, and all this. Yeah? Like it? Okay, now I want to give you an example of a very good research proposal which has produced 2 PhD students, 2 master students, patent, a patent, and this was written by a supervisor together with a student. Okay? So I want to give you a proposal that has 1 grant, produced 4 graduate students, 2 masters and 2 PhD, I think 7 patents, just from 1 small grant. They work together as a team. This is another word. work together as a team. In my case, I have a pyramid system. Ada gambar? Tak ada. A pyramid, you know pyramid in Egypt? Yeah? On top of that is one PhD. Under that, 2 master students. And then under that, 4 bachelor science students doing their project. Each one working on the same team but different scope, different depth. So they work as a team. The PhD student more experience will guide the masters more experience will guide the bachelor. That's how I've been working. And my professor taught me last time when I was in the United States and Canada. You know, work in a team. TEAM. Don't claim that you are the best in the world. Yeah? Because there's always somebody better than you. TAM means what? TEAM. Low. T stands for together. E stands for everybody. A achieves. M more. What? Team. Work as a team. Don't think that you are the most brilliant. No, there are other brilliant people. I repeat. Work as a team. TAM. My formula has worked for 40 years. Alhamdulillah. Together, E for what, my friend? Everyone. A achieves. M more. And there are some people, because God gave us an example of selfish people that we shouldn't follow. They think they are a supervisor or student. They think they are the best. No, I don't believe in that. I never think I'm the best. There are always somebody better than me. Even some students are better than me. They give good ideas. So we have to work as a team. Okay? Where did I get that TEAM? From Malaysian banking logo. That's why they become the strongest bank in Malaysia. They work as a team. Remember, don't think that you are the best. There are some people, you know. Tell me what person. He's one of my other students. I think he's here to collect his thesis. I haven't completed. You know. Anyway, so okay, this is an example in a title, but it doesn't have to be this. Remember, your title must have objective in 1 or 2 words. It doesn't matter your broken English or what, doesn't matter. Objective in 1 or 2 words. The how, that means the method in 1 or 2 words, and the objective. Objective, method, and outcome. Outcome, what your research will contribute to environment, to society, to economy. You must have at least 2 of those components in a research title, in a thesis title. Yeah? Objective, why is the objective? How is the method? And the outcome towards the end. So here we have, this is in agriculture, in fertilizer technology, and in chemistry. Yeah? Amending phosphate fertilizer, that is the objective. In 3 words. How? The method with activated carbon, humic acid, and zeolite. And why the significant, the improved phosphorus use efficiency in acid soil. It doesn't have to be this long, but at least you must have 2 components. Effects of vermicompost on and growth and yield of maize. That is his title, vermicompost. He took all the slush that you flush in your toilet, my friend. He took all those, turned it in, used earthworm, pity the earthworm, had to go into all your waste material, work on it and produce vermicompost, and he's testing it on maize, and he's going to get, inshallah, his master's. And he has produced 3 papers. This is not completed yet. Okay, now, berapa pula ni? Tadi title. Okay, that's the title. So this title is important in fertilizer technology, this subject, this area. Why am I? You see, Malaysian soil or tropical soil are very acidic. And then in Africa, right from Africa to Asia, the whole world, we are using a lot of fertilizers. So this is costly to the farmers. Number one. It causes a lot of environmental pollution. Number two. Number three, it is not efficient. The phosphorus is fixed in the soil, not taken up by the plant. So we lose in terms of money, we are destroying our environment, and it does not improve the crop. So now the whole world is going into what they call HISTIS, some HISTIS, biological agriculture, which is the use of organic fertilizer plus inorganic fertilizer. It is moving. In Thailand, they have sort of not banned, but they have discouraged the use of chemical fertilizer. Malaysia is still using a lot. Yeah? So this fertilizer, so this is a very big problem. So when you do a research, please, I hope your supervisor will have a research project that will address economic issue, environmental issue, the issue of society. So that will make your research project scientific. That will make your research project has novelty. Novelty, that means unique, new idea, something that you can contribute to science, to the world, to agriculture, forestry, or whatever, to environment. Yeah? So just don't do a thesis simply because you want a degree. No. Please seek knowledge. Yeah? Not just that piece of paper. A master's degree, a PhD is just a certificate, a passport to further. Because you are going to use your experience here to get better jobs, to do something for humanity, for environment, to the world. Okay? Not just a certificate. That is just a passport. Very easy to get a PhD. You ask Dr. Hamid there. Just go and photostat a PhD thesis, then put your name, you get it. But you cannot do for Iran. Iran, the embassy will check everything. Now some people do that in Malaysia. They go to the Damansara, photostat some of these thesis, and then call themselves doctor. But it's not where they get caught and it's failed. Okay, so that's a title, very long, but you can shorten it. But the point here is find a title, talk to the supervisor. I'm sure most supervisors, good supervisors, have this kind of project. Project that contributes to society, to human welfare, to environment, all the other things. Okay? What area are you in, my friend? Communication. Communication. Faculty? Huh? Modern language, communication. Oh, no, by train, all this verbal communication. I don't know. What's the problem? Maybe you should work on how to improve communication skill among the blind, or something like that. Something unique. What is your topic now? Any topic? What topic?
My topic is on social media.
Social media. What's new in social media?
Yeah, because from social media now, you find out that commonly, you find out that youths don't participate in political activities.
Huh?
Youths don't participate in political activities. But with the advent of social media, there are more increase, more youths now participate in political activities.
That is not scientific. They want common. Everybody just using WhatsApp, whatever, you know, just saying bad things about each other. So you want to do that? Your background? IT. But okay, we have one example here. Our friend here, what's your name?
Innocent.
Huh?
Innocent.
Innocent. Huh? Where? From where?
From Nigeria.
Nigeria. He wants to see whether how many people use social media for political purposes, terrorism purposes. Is it? That's internet security. But what's new? You ask yourself, what's new? It's common, everything is all open. I'm not saying you change the title, because you say you are in communication. I met somebody from Australia, which university, last week. I met. He was doing the same thing, and we were discussing over coffee, and said there's nothing new here, you know. Yeah, but cyber security is something new. They're trying to have to find ways of restricting and all this. So he is a PhD student from Australia. So I was telling him just over coffee, you know, I was waiting for my session, and I said, "What's new in your project?" "Nothing new. I just want to get a degree." I said, "There's something wrong with you." And something wrong with your topic as a supervisor. So he SMS me and he emailed me and thanked me for just because of coffee, over coffee. I paid for the coffee anyway. So he changed the topic. Do something unique, something new, something that will be useful for you later on. Okay, I don't want to comment because I'm not in the area, but when you say that, I do not see any novelty in just doing a survey how many people use the social media for political purposes, for terrorist purposes.
No, that is not the focus.
And then what is the purpose?
The focus is how the relationship between social media and youth. Especially how the social media is able to influence youth to take part actively in politics.
Whatever. But it's okay, you and your supervisor try to think of something unique, you know? Something more useful. Okay. So, introduction, then we go. That's why I said, when I asked my student, just the title in 2 pages and a summary. A summary of a proposal. You see, a lot of people, like I said, are busy. So they want to read only the summary first before they can assess you. So a summary, maybe in 300 words, 400 words, must contain 4 elements. Yeah? Number 1, what is the problem you're trying to solve? Issue. Number 2, why? The objectives. Okay. Number 3, how? The method. And then, number 4, outcome. What is expected out of your research when you complete 4 years, 3 years, 2 years? Now output, you know, the output actually is your certificate, your degree. That's output. Okay? Papers, output. But what I would like to see, outcome. Again, repeat, in your summary, you must clearly state in a few sentences what is the issue, the problem you're trying to solve. This is, I'm now going touching on how to write an acceptable proposal. First, write the 2 pages. So the title, the summary you get from your supervisor must have the executive summary. The summary must have 4 components: problem statement you are trying to solve, your social media, whatever. The why, 2 or 3 objectives. No, don't write 10 objectives you cannot accomplish. Method, the how, and what do you expect in 1 or 2 sentences at the end of your study. What can your research, your thesis, your research contribute, like I said, to the IT world, to safety, to intellect, whatever, you know, environment, economy, knowledge. Okay? So, now you look at that, well written, very well written summary, but this is mainly on soil science, agriculture, fertilizer technology, and chemistry. Malaysian soil, like any tropical soil, are highly weathered, low in phosphorus, has high, can fix a lot of phosphorus. Very beautiful, nicely written first sentence. That's the problem. Like I said just now, with phosphorus fertilizer, it gets fixed. Yeah? Like you eat, somehow something wrong with you, it does not get digested. So you get stuck somewhere, then in a few months you get diabetes. I don't know, just for example, you get accumulated in your liver, your body system. So the same thing with the soil. It fixed phosphorus fertilizer, not taken up the bulk. So that is the problem statement. In 1 sentence, So what happened? And then this person explained why our soil is like that. Because high in iron and aluminum hydroxide. The second sentence. You see, each sentence support each other. And this person does not know a word of English when he came to Malaysia. Went to learn, took English classes, did a lot of reading. Okay? And what? So as a result of this problem, he started to work with, therefore, thus, large amounts of fertilizers are required to attain high yield of crop. That's the implication of this problem. Okay, so what is your problem statement in your proposal? Effect of what?
The effect of social media, the influence of...
Okay, that means your first problem statement, the social media is destroying whatever among the youth, right? Is turning youth into drugs, music, not consenting. Is that your problem? No. Then what is your problem?
The problem is still developed, but it focuses on the social media influencing youth or the other way around.
Yeah, but what is the problem?
The problem is how are youth influenced?
Oh, that's how, the method. You want to see how, but what is the problem? Is the social media destroying the mindset, the culture of our youth? And then I might question, if I am on the committee, why youth? How you define youth? Youth is between 18 to 40, you know, in Malaysia. 40 years old is still youth. How old are you?
39.
39, you are still young, youth. Still youth. So, big gap, you know, 19, 18 to 40.
From the youths I'm thinking, from the definition
Now, I'm still trying to find what is the problem you are trying to solve in your thesis. Just now you are talking about method. I will go back and think, discuss with Supervisor, what is the problem? I think the big problem now is our social media is destroying the culture in any particular country. You know? In fact, what is social media?
social media is the new media when you communicate using
WhatsApp.
communication technology.
I see.
When you use communication.
So isn't that destroying our culture?
That is one perception.
You see, I have 3 children. They seldom talk to me. Always WhatsApp. Dinner table. My wife also. She has a WhatsApp group of our classmate 40 years ago. So I don't talk to anybody now. I WhatsApp also. So you must identify the problem. We are not communicating anymore. Is it? Because WhatsApp is free. So I told my younger son, please come once in a while, please call Papa. I want to hear your voice. We do not hear any voice anymore. Right? That's the problem. Destroy our culture. That's communication. How it is destroyed because we are using all this. Now they have this new one beside WhatsApp. What is it? Telegraph or something like that. Huh? Also. And then you go in a room. I saw somebody WhatsApp just now looking at the internet up there, not listening to me. Okay? So it's really destroyed. Is it that the question, problem statement, is whatever the social media destroying the culture, our culture? Maybe that's the problem statement, I do not know. Up to you to identify. Not how it affects, we know already it affects, you know. That's not a research question. Okay, I'm not in this area, but I'm trying to look for something which is, you know, related to social media and is affecting the society. You know? Look at how many accidents it causes. That's also a topic. People driving and was driving home. Accident, ambulance, go to hospital, die. This is a problem. Huh? This is a problem. They're talking on the phone while driving. So this is the issue that you have to settle. So you must find statistics how many people got involved in incident. because of this. That's a problem statement. Yeah? But I would like to see your area, if I am your supervisor, how social media destroy our family structure. That's a beautiful thing. Then you do specifically. Alright. I'm just giving, I'm not in this area, so you're supervisor. Okay. Now, so the summary, therefore large amount of fertilizer are required. You know, that means the economic implication is there. Beautifully written in one sentence. It costs more to produce maize because of this problem. Then, lagi, the next one, and then it causes an environmental problem. Okay. So, okay, that's the problem segment into three sentences. So, objective of this study, I said just now, problem statement, then the why, the objective, and the method, the how. The objective of this study is to make sure that the fertilizer used, and they give the name of fertilizer, such as with the method with carbon acid to make the phosphorus readily available can be taken up by plant. That's the objective. This is only the summary, you know. In the proposal, you might have three objectives. Okay. Now, so lagi the next one. Starting lagi the next one. Lagi apa yang masuk ni? Gimana? See all this. I don't want to go through. If JSO agree, we have some more smaller session. In communication, we have a group another session. In engineering, we have another session. Then we can look. If you agree, if you want. In agriculture, we have another session. We cannot have about 200 people in one session. Because some will be very shy. Maybe in a month or two. If graduate school agree and if you want it, I can help. We can find time to help. The next session will just be the title. Talking about title and your summary. So what we do, if you agree, we break up in smaller session and we have a few examples, we talk about it. And later on, third session, we call the supervisor. Okay, lagi? Mana tu? Mana? Yeah, abstract. What's the abstract? Outcome. Tak habis lagi? Okay, we have seen the problem statement, we have seen the objective, now the method. Yeah? The how, the using humic acid. Actually, how long is the session today? 3 hours, 1 minute to talk. That's why after this I want somebody to come and talk and we group together. We will, after this, if you think this session is useful to guide you, if you want it, then we will organize it. Okay? Something wrong. This is the problem with the computer. See, I'm talking. Actually, I did it purposely to make you laugh because you were already sleepy. You know? I know, but the mic is on my right. You cannot be serious all the time, right, Prof? You cannot be serious all the time. You must have some joke. But seriously, just now I thought this is the mic. Mana? Tak dapat. Cari yang original. You see, this is problem with IT and social media problem. 30 years ago, just transparency. No problem. It doesn't disappear. I just have to highlight it. Or slide. Now student like Azira doesn't know that there's such thing as slide and carousel. She saw in my office, what is this? Because they are used to all this. You see how all this information technology destroying our, actually it's destroying our intelligence. So for example, they have this Google Translator. No? So it's all nonsense, it's destroying. In my time, I had to use dictionary. Word forward. That means when I read one word, I can see another word. You see, I come from an Arabic school. My grandfather very religious. For 6 years I attended Arabic school. And then my father said, no, your grandfather is Chinese, so you go to Chinese school. So I went to Chinese school. I never learned English, you know. Arabic and Chinese, of course, believe. You know? So I attended Chinese school for 3 years. And I don't know what happened, they sent me to, after that, of course, I went to study English. So I'm quite okay with Chinese, and because my grandfather Chinese, no, you must learn. All the children must learn. Go to a Chinese school, Chonghua High School, near the house. The Chinese school, only Muslim student, Muslim teacher, few Chinese, strange in Kelantan. Kelantan in different state. Islamic state. Okay, mana ni? Mr. Abu Bakar, what happened? Virus. Lepas tu buat apa lain? Yang dulu punya? Hold on for a while, it's a good break. Yes, please. What's your question? Come here. So that everybody will listen to your question. Okay.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mine is not a question, sir, but I only just want to comment when you feel that, or your perception is that social media and indeed information technology has really destroyed our society. But coming from the communication background, I feel otherwise. Because looking at you, I believe when you did your research, you must have read, let's say about more than 200 journals. And reading those 200 journals, imagine you piling up books of more than 200 copies, reading them one after the other. But today, we are so free information technology at the tip of our fingers. Whereas any journal you want to look at, you don't need to waste time going through the library, going through everything. Good. So that is...
Okay. Actually, I agree with you. You see, anything there are, you see, you have a coin, there are always two sides of the coin, the good things and the bad things. Of course, there are many good things about social media and IT. I saw one TV, I think from Ghana, about the extension work using mobile phone to the rural farmers. It improves their knowledge. So, it's good, there are good things, but I'm talking about your thesis. To give something more unique, what is the negative effect of social media? We are talking about your thesis, not the whole, you know. Malaysia, okay, some things are good, some very bad, not very good. What's about Malaysia? You think Malaysia is a good country? No, there are certain things that we don't like, so, but that's life. We are talking about your thesis. There are two sides of the coin. Okay, the good things, of course. We can access information very fast, you know. But we would like to see your thesis. I was suggesting, I was just mentioning, you talk to your supervisor, the negative aspect of social media. Okay, right. Any question? Any other question? Don't be shy. Yes.
Now let's talk.
Yeah, please identify yourself first.
Okay, Ahmed.
Ahmed?
Yeah, from Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah. Now I have a controversial question. It's about, let's say, as a student, I have a title, PhD title.
A student?
Like a student, I have, let's say, a PhD project with some title. Then go to some professors.
Hello.
Then I go to some professors. I think I have a loud voice. So I went to some professors asking about my PhD title. Then he liked my topic so much, and even he said I am interested. Let's say, and then I went to another one. Then he told me, "What's in you? So what? I make this topic." So this means good or bad? This means I have problem because one doctor liked my topic, others no, or it's about at the end person, somebody likes, somebody no.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. At least not everybody. What is your title?
It's about.
Can you tell your title so that we listen?
It's about loyalty of satellite TV channels.
Satellite?
It's about loyalty.
Loyalty.
Why Ahmed, why David prefer specific TV channels? This is in brief. It's
The answer from two faculty members, one say what's new, the other say not new, yeah?
Yeah.
So, who is more senior in this case? The first one or the second?
No,
Is the first one a professor? Full professor?
No, first, this one, let me say, a controversial question because I show my topic to one professor, one doctor, and he liked, but I didn't show to another person. But I was thinking, generally, because I was thinking one picture about how to make also thesis and proposal. Then they make some, let's say, standards. So according to standards, according to one author standards, my PhD topic is good. According to other standards, it's not good. So at the end, I asked doctor, oh my God, I am a little bit confused because according to standards, sometimes I feel it's a good topic, sometimes I don't, it's not good. So I think I found out after the end, it's about supervisor. He will say it is good or bad. He told me, yeah. That's all.
So that's why I asked whether the first one is a professor, the second one just graduated with a PhD, doesn't know anything yet much. So it depends, you know. No, okay. Now, so this is the method. I don't have to go into detail. Experimental design there. So the problem statement, the objective method, lastly, this is the outcome. Yeah? Lagi, the next one. Bapa ni gimana? Ini banyak ni lain ni. Ini lain ni. Ini method dia. Outcome. Dan this is somebody, FIDS ada. Mana? Ambil itu. And that's why all of you, when you complete your in your second semester, you have to give a seminar, you know, on your topic. So you will receive a lot of good comments, some negative comments. Don't worry, get the best comment. Have an open mind, you know. So that will, the idea of the graduate seminar is to improve your proposal. Keadaan ini banyak sangat ni. Ini daripada lain ni. Haji tak? Daripada mana? Tidak daripada FIDS yang disambut. Tidak. Itu yang tukar. Yang pun mulai yang disambut. Mana? Oh, okay. Any other question? Yes, please. You have mic. Mr. Bakar. Oh, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In the instance, you made mention of technical backgrounds. Nowadays, we have cross-disciplinary research that are happening. People can come from biological background and they study computer and they make novel research on that. So is it, you're telling us that we should just stay with one field?
Excellent question. Excellent. Very good question. Actually, I tell you that I'm the chairman for the grant committee at the national level. We want all projects not single disciplinary. It must be trans. Let's say you are in IT. Use whatever your IT expertise to be applied in agriculture, in medical. See? So this is good, very good question. So you don't have to realistic, but the focus is what? Is it for IT? Is it medical? Or is it agriculture? So, but at least your background, if you the focus, the anchor is IT, but to be applied in another discipline. That's what we encourage. Because you cannot be alone anymore now. You cannot just be working on chemistry. Like this one is chemistry. Okay, but it's agriculture also. Yeah? It's environment. But it is actually a chemistry project to change the structure of the soil, the mechanism, so that more phosphorus will be taken up by the plant. But that's chemistry, but to be applied in agriculture. The background of the person is chemistry. Okay? Very good question. So it doesn't mean that if you are an engineering, you must do engineering. No, cross-discipline. That's why the Malaysian government is encouraging research project to be cross-disciplinary. Yeah? Okay? Good. And very important, your committee, what area are you in? Huh?
Computer science.
Why have you been in computer? Huh? Okay, computer science. So what do you want to do?
Actually working on sensor networks.
Son?
Sensor networks.
What?
Wireless sensor networks.
What's that? Sensor. For what?
Wireless sensor networks.
Oh, wireless sensor. So if you're talking about virus, you must have a medical person there. Then, just so to answer your question, it's good. It's better to have trans-disciplinary area.
So I think that you need to have an idea of other backgrounds. So you have to come from different areas, or you just have to.
No, like I said, the core of the thesis is IT or is it medical? If medical, you cannot be there. It is to be applied in a medical field, or it is to be applied in environment. Whatever you develop, to be applied. Okay? Okay, now, outcome. You see that? This is the outcome. It is expected that this study, this study, phosphorus availability would be improved. Okay, that means the plants can take more phosphorus, contributing to reduction in excessive use of phosphorus fertilizer. So there's an economic contribution, reducing import bill in Malaysia. And the outcome is also towards environment. This is cross-discipline. You know? It will help in the environment because we are using less chemical fertilizer, reduction of environmental pollution by phosphorus eutrophication. 2, discipline benefit. Then, this will ensure increasing yield without retaining quality of the environment. So, two contribution: environment, crop yield. That means the farmers will benefit more. That is the economic, socio-economic aspect. So you want to do that. So you might want to relate whatever you want to do sensor to. You know, there's a lot of problem. Your sensor, what sensor? Cyber security, in the area of cyber security, is it? Virus. Yeah. Why suddenly my handphone, all my numbers are gone because of virus? It used to be there's no virus can enter the handphone, right? Now they create. So you have to find something that will help. Can you do it?
My area is actually on the sensors we use for activities engaging in the everyday. For example, we have body sensor networks. Body sensor network can detect a rise in temperature in your body.
Oh yeah, then there is. I've seen one proposal like that. Just but that's being applied in the medical field. It detects the heartbeat, you know, EEG or whatever it is. Then you develop a sensor when you go to Kuala Lumpur, you know, this young lady here, pretty lady, go and walk, then the sensor will detect this man is trying to rob me. Can you develop that? From the heat that comes in, you know. That's unique. You do that, you get a Nobel Prize. Who knows, one day you can do it, you know. Right? You know, 30 years ago, nobody thought that we would be drinking from the bottle. You know? 30 years ago, when I was a kid, no, not a kid, I was still already married. When I was a kid, I could drink from any pipe along the road. The river was so beautiful, a lot of fish. And we drink water from anywhere. Now we have to drink from here. You know? So polluted. So I was telling one crowd, one day we have to use oxygen tank. What they are using now, the police, traffic police. We never know. So you develop a sensor for all these beautiful ladies so that they can sense. Or sensor if, you know, you are married? Not yet. Not yet. Okay, sensor to detect whether the man who wants to propose to her is a nice man or not. No, be creative. Think out of the box. Can you do that? If they can do it to detect heat because of blood pressure and all this, I think you can develop a model to see whether the 4 Iranian men who can see which one is the best sensor. Yeah, from Iran. Iraq. Okay, sorry. All right. Okay. So that's the summary. So where was I just now? So please, during your first semester, do as much review as possible and write. Slide ada apa lagi? Ada apa lagi slide? I think, where is the Mr. Bakar? Don't you think that 1 hour we need a break and have coffee? Is there any coffee outside? GSO does not provide coffee? Very bad organizer. After 1 hour, you should have coffee. Let GSO pay for it. No coffee. Okay, now, I haven't finished, actually. I haven't finished.
I had wanted to answer the Prof.
Because I have some example that was sent to me.
I had wanted to answer what you have just said now.
You asked me.
About bad organization. Actually, I think I should shift the blame to you and the university, Prof.
Thank you. Why?
Because you are member, you are advisor to the university management. I think you should have done a little bit better.
Okay, I will bring this forward. Actually, I volunteer for this.
Okay.
So the whole organization was done by GSO.
Okay.
I just volunteer, want to share my experience with you. So I rushed back took a flight from somewhere. Where? From University Kelantan. Came here, and this afternoon I have to go to another meeting. But I volunteer to be with you to share my knowledge. I'm not paid for this, you know. And I got a call just now. Are you already there? Yes, and then I got the sample only last night. So this is, somebody should do a thesis on management. In fact, there should be providing coffee. We should have coffee break for a while, you know. Okay, now, why? They just leave us here for 3 hours. That's not fair, no. But this is free, it's free lecture. Free lecture for you and free lecture for me. That's why they don't provide anything. Okay, all this I will not go because this is individual. Because different field, different statistics, different design. Yeah. So I didn't expect a big crowd. I thought only 20 people in the same area. That's why I will suggest to Yesu But what do you expect out of me today? How to write a proposal, right? So I have already given. Now we take a short break, because I want to go and look for coffee, go to the loo. The people at my age must visit the place for a while, once in a while. We'll be back by 10 minutes, And those who smoke can go outside and smoke. And then kita tengok yang contoh tu. Okay. Those who want to leave can go ahead, but those who want to see a sample from one new student, I hope that student is here today. Sample that has to be improved. It's okay. Ada ni sample a good PhD proposal and a not so good master's proposal. Did you learn anything? Okay, thank you for still staying back here. So we just I just want to show you one proposal submitted to me last night. I would like you to take a look at it. Mana file dia tadi? File tadi? Saya buat file. This is a pre-proposal, I said, 2-3 pages. New student. I don't know whether he's in here or not. Assessment of hazardous trees within forest parks in Peninsular Malaysia. Okay, I was saying just now the title must have objective, method, and hopefully outcome. Look at the title here. Even though it is not in your area, he wants to assess trees that are dangerous in Peninsular Malaysia. Is this a good title? Think. To me, this is too general. Yeah? What is hazardous tree? Dangerous tree, what is it? Is it trees that are infected with pests, diseases? So the method is not there in the title. How do you assess? And then it's not quite clear. Now, what is the outcome? What for? Why you want to do this project? Of course, we know, if you want to assess so that, I don't know whether they want to replace the trees or whatever. So the title basically is incomplete. Okay? It's very general, incomplete. If I am in the committee, in the seminar, I will comment that. Okay, objective. Look at that. To confirm extent and severity of trees that have been identified from the visual to improve management. This is it. What is it? Why is lacking here the science, the scientific part? What do you mean to confirm? Of course, the English all tungan lagi lah na bertabu. So actually, the objective should be, to me, is to first identify characteristics of trees that you define as dangerous. That's the first thing. Is it the branching or stem rotting? What? Species not mentioned here. So it has to be improved, this proposal. Then improve the management guideline. So, literature review. That's not a literature review. Problem statement. Since people and trees must live together. What is that? Is that correct? We must live together? You sleep under the trees? I mean, you must write. Even though your English is not good, please try to write the sentence that makes sense. Huh? I'm sorry, but this was given to me with permission, so I have to comment. The problem statement says people and trees must live together. That's already wrong, no? You live with your husband, or with your wife. You don't put a tree in your bedroom, maybe some people. So, when choosing, when writing, this is what we call scientific writing. You see, writing in whatever language, Iranian, Arabic, English, Malay, there are different types of scientific writing. Then the journalism writing different, The journalists, the reporters, they write differently. And then, of course, the lawyers, legal writing, legal language. So there are many kinds. So we are in a university trying to do master's PhD. It has to be scientific writing. It doesn't matter you are from IT or engineering or human resource economy. Scientific writing. precise, word for word. So, problem statement. It is important to identify the potential to become potential. All wrong English, you know. When we see this kind of writing, the student will have problem in writing thesis. Later on. Critical thinking there, lack of, so maybe last minute writing. Branches, roots that may cause the tree sparks to fail, which may cause property damage. A tree becomes potentially dangerous when the trees will be a defect. So there is no problem statement. Problem statement should come, because talking about Malaysia, he must come up with figures, statistics, urban trees, landscape trees in Malaysia have caused how many deaths, you know, fall to how many cars, and then the economic, the problem must give up figures. There are figures from various sources where the trees fall when there's a wind, a strong wind or flood, whatever, and it causes loss of life, property damage. So, problem in one or two sentences must be supported by some numbers, figures, yeah? From Ministry of Transport or whatever. There must be. We have some figures. So, just do not simply put things like that. And then, must also state why, the possible reason. Okay? So, you must tell what is the, this is the problem with scientific writing and scope. We'll focus on trees from selected forest park in Malaysia. In Peninsular Malaysia, that's a big country now. If you want to, you just go straight. I would like to conduct this study in Putrajaya, yeah, in Lake Garden, Malaysia. Give some, you know, so be specific, because you cannot do the whole country. There's no money, there's no time, it involves traveling. And this is the logistic part of preparing a proposal. You must conduct a research that you can do within the time and the financial constraint you have. Okay? Somebody just now asked me, can I go back to Nigeria to do? Okay, you can go, local problem, but where is the money? No money. Want to ask from the supervisor. So this is a big issue also. So do something which you can achieve within, if it is a PhD, within 3 years or 2 years. And after that, it's all writing. Writing alone takes at least a year with the level of English proficiency. You know? So the data collection, the data analysis, the writing. Look at my student, Shami. He's in Tumelu. How many months already you're writing? Maybe almost 6-7 months. Huh? Draft number 5. See? I, as a supervisor, I want him to go to the Viva clean. If there's hopefully no more correction, just a little bit. There must be some mistake. That's my responsibility. So it takes time. To read a thesis is not easy also. So if a writing like this, proposal like this, already not clear, as a history and all this, so this student needs to really sit down with the supervisor. Methodology. Next page, methodology. Inspection 25, forest in Peninsular Malaysia. See that? Johor, for those who are new to Malaysia, he wants to do in Johor. Melaka, Johor is in the south, near Singapore. Melaka, then travel north. Penang, in the north, near Thailand. Terengganu, in the east. So, again, logistic. Where is the money? Where is he going to travel? And if it is a lady, you cannot be traveling alone. You know? So you must remember, all these are logistic, very important. So, I don't know, this person too big. You are just going to do some thesis, master's thesis. Not to do landscape, Ministry of Landscape or Department of Landscape Plan work. Then all this, there's no experimental design. Significance of research of hazardous tree and stability can be identified or English from visual inspection. So what? You can go and see the trees falling and rotting. No need, you look without visual. No science. Yeah? What you should be doing, there will be scientific criteria to classify that the trees is dangerous and what class 1 to 3. Yeah? So, hazard tree management guideline. We already have beautiful guideline. No need to come out with new guideline. The implementation part. So very important, the scientific merit and novelty not in this proposal. Sorry to say, whoever it is. But it can be improved. It can be improved. Look at the, is it pest diseases, is it pest, is it species selection? Sometimes, the way it works in Malaysia, you get a project given to contractor, cut cost down, plant the wrong species. Yeah? Trees, species that can break very easily during strong wind. So maybe, so it's lacking in this proposal. So as it is, this proposal is a good idea, but it has to be improved. And another thing, you must check whether this research has been done by the Department of Landscape or not, or other universities. Very important. And this checking can be done through review of literature. If you are just reinventing the wheel, doing something similar, then when you go and submit your thesis, you will not go through the, what do they call it? Turning of the, is it? Then there might be plagiarism and all this. So this is a problem, not with the student, but with the supervisor, who does not sit down with the student to write a proposal. Okay, logistics. That's why my project, even though I have research grant, are all conducted on campus. He's doing earthworm right behind the Faculty of Veterinary Science. No problem, he can go at night. Azira also doing the same area. At least Shami can escort Azira. But now she's married, the husband can take care of her. So I have it within UPM, because it's the same, doing it in Singapore or it's just producing earthworm. Earthworm in Johor is the same as earthworm in Serdang. And the slush that you flush in your toilet is the same. People in Johor also flush in the toilet, same thing. Maybe they eat different things. So why make life difficult? I've been telling the lecturers also, why I want to go all of this? Because some people like to travel. And they can claim, make money, Safety of my students first. And easy to manage. So all my projects are around here. And in Sarawak, I was in charge of the Sarawak campus. I built forest 20 years already. All the students work there, just behind the hostel, no problem. And they go in a group. I have one student now. What happens you go to the forest and get eaten by a tiger? If at least 5 of you, then you can share. The tiger can share, one person. No, these are logistic reasons, which, and especially to international students. How are you going to travel to Johor? Then up to Singapore, to Penang, Money, safety. All this you must take into consideration. Time. Okay, that's one proposal which has to be improved. I hope the person is inside here, will not disclose the name. But the other proposal, a PhD proposal, to tell you the truth, this is a beautiful proposal. This is, I don't know who, but it's a good incorporating green development concept in land use development plan. Somebody from Iran just now was asking me because she wanted to do, is she here still? Islamic Hotel. Oh, Green Hotel. Oh, sorry, sir. because I have two groups. One is working on Islamic tourism. The other one looking at green tourism. But look at this. But this is very too long. 25 pages of proposal. You know, well written, very few grammatical error. Problem statement very nicely written. I cannot give to you because this is somebody's team. Look at green development plan. Go ahead. So this lady, I don't know, lady on, I think lady, yeah, refers to all the national policies on green development plan. It's all written there. When I read last night, 5 minutes, straight away I knew this student has done a lot of literature work and well-written proposal. Yeah, you just glance through. National policy lagi, urban planning, your tourism, hotel tourism also inside here. The name is there. Very detailed. You see? Okay, we go to the Green City Index Asia. So very good review. Malaysia is in between. Kuala Lumpur. In fact, you can use this for your thesis, but I cannot give to you because it's somebody's proposal. But go through. Malaysia has needs more of sustainable development. This research finding unfortunately shows that there is a conflict. Okay, lagi. Go for the banyak to 25 pages. A lot of review. Objective, research question. You see, it's very detailed. What is the objective? What is the research question? To describe and evaluate quality of Kuala Lumpur structure plan in green development policy. So what are the common criteria? Just now we were looking at dangerous tree. Nothing mentioned about this, right? Now you're looking at this. To explain challenges and constraints, what are the most? So one step by step. Further, please. Then literature review, concept, green revolution, everything beautifully written. I hope I can meet the student. I hope she is around here. Strategy, nanti lagi. See, all international policy, national policy, all inside here. Look at the green, three dimension of green concept. Sustainability concept. Economy, society, environment. Sustainability in the middle. So this is beautifully written, right? And then the schedule of work, green cities, all this. Method. So, but basically this is very good research proposal. Very detailed, too detailed in fact, 25 pages. But this is good guideline. You know, a research proposal is a road map. You want to go to Kuala Lumpur, you need a map, right? If nobody wants to bring you who is familiar, you need a map. So a research proposal is a map for you. But of course there will be changes along the way. In the third semester there might be some changes in the methodology, it's okay. But at least you have a map with you. You want to go to Singapore, you have a map. If not, you get lost. So very important step is a good research proposal. That it will be your map. Yeah? Okay? Lagi? Research methodology. Kuala Lumpur City. See, just look at that. It's talking about international green philosophy, national, and then when it comes to method, just Kuala Lumpur. Not Johor Bahru, Kelantan, Thailand. So the logistic is there. So just to take one sample. See, this expression, method, data source. It's all there. Beautiful written. Where can he get that? Because this is more secondary data, no primary data collection. Tentative work schedule for 3 years program. Look at that, theoretical framework. Whoever is the supervisor and the student, they are good. I think this, see, research design there, data source. This is a socio-economic research, also environmental research. Significance of research. The output is there. So we are clear. Whoever the student is heading towards a nice PhD. Benefit to public service and national. If you want to do in Iran, benefit to the Iranian government or wherever in Iran or Iraq, Jordan, or to the world. Look at the work schedule. Nicely written. Literature review, proposal writing, data collection. So this is the map that she is going to follow. 2014 until 2018. Like I said, there will be changes. But at least she has a map that she will follow. Yeah? Just now, there was nothing, no map, not clear. Alright? And then editing, proofreading until submit correction and then the relevant references. Look at that references, 2014. See some references, 1999, that's 1980, that's 30 years ago, things have changed. Yeah? 30 years ago, like I said, nobody was drinking water from a bottle. Nobody talked about climate change 30 years ago. There was no mention of climate change. Nobody talked about carbon storage 30 years, 40 years ago. So things, research has changed, new dimension, new things to do. Okay? So this is a well-written proposal, which I have no complaint, and I think this candidate has a very good roadmap plan for her. She is a lady, Haliza. I don't know which faculty. So this is what I would like you to work on. Yeah? Don't worry, it's just learning how to ride a bicycle when you were small. Yeah? You ride, you fall, you ride. Finally, in a few months you'll be good. I always finish my talk with saying nobody plans to fail, but many fail to plan. So writing a proposal is part of the planning. Nobody plans to fail. All of you come from all over the world, from Malaysia. You don't want to fail in UPM, right? You feel you must be crazy, you're sitting in this hall. So, but many fail to plan. Must plan in terms of all sorts of things, not only proposal writing, like I was saying this morning. Okay, any question? Because the people in GSO has already left, what I would like to suggest is to have, like I said, individual session according to discipline. I will suggest to GSO, but depending on whether I'm not the best, say they are expert in the faculty, but I would like you to start right, It's just like in a 100-meter race or whatever race. If you start well, start right, then you can finish. So do you want to have, I will suggest to GSO, up to them to organize. People in IT will be one, and then we give you 1 month to come up with a proposal. Later on, you will sit down with your committee. I don't want to be in any of your committee, if I can avoid. But if it is related to my field and it will help you, inshallah I'll do it. If not, I don't need any more graduate students. Okay, question is, do you want separate session?
Assalamu alaikum.
Why? Salam, where? Mr. Bakar, oh you are here.
Sorry sir, you asked for the question. My name is Mohammed. I'm a PhD student from Faculty of Agriculture. My question is, you have raised an issue of citation. maybe 1990 or so, it's very like 30 years ago. And if, am I allowed in UPM to cite an individual who worked 1980 something in Abubakar 2001? Is it allowed?
Sure. If it is really classical, unique, you cannot find recent publication. In 1970, 1960, he's the only one. Einstein's work was done many years ago. It's been cited because it's unique. In English, it's called classical. You can cite classical literature. But if the method has been improved, revised, accepted internationally, you have to cite the recent one. And data on population, for example, on statistic, all these things must be recent. You cannot cite population based on 1980 data. If you are doing a population study, you must cite at least 2012. Okay? But classical reference, yes, you can cite. A lot of people cite Muslim scholars, done in the 12th century, 10th century, okay? Because it's classic, nobody else did that. Okay. And some people even cited the Quran because it's the only place in the whole world, in the whole humankind is written. Okay? Answer your question. Any other question? It's almost 12, huh? Right? That means 3 hours. I thought it's only 1 hour. Okay, you agree, yeah? I will suggest this. Okay, how do we break up? Can you suggest? Huh? In 1 month, we meet again with your title and pre-proposal, and we have it, you involved. My first slide. I tell you, you might forget. What is it? The first slide is now? I'm sure you might remember. Get you involved.
I will understand.
You will understand. So, next time we meet in a month, come up with your working title. Just your title and you come up here. Please don't be shy. We want to learn together as a team. No need all the expert, your supervisor. We just among ourselves. Because you are not shy with me, I'm not shy with you. If you're a supervisor, you get scared and all this sort of thing. So we have it, but if Jesu agree. Because Jesu doesn't have to pay me. I said 1 bottle of water is now. Next time we organize some coffee, I will tell Jesu to have a coffee break. Okay. So, Mr. Abubakar, can you organize? Tell Jesu break up IT, engineering, maybe, I don't know. Up to you. The biological sciences, agriculture, forestry, environment, the social sciences, economics, human ecology, human resource, and the clusters, we call it clusters. Yeah? Actually, why you are appointed to be, because you were around here. Because people from Jesu already disappeared.
I happen to be with them. Ad hoc.
Oh, okay. So you organize, you tell Jesu, they will fix a time and place, but group by group. But how do we communicate? Huh?
They communicate through their
With the sensor. You're doing. Okay? Okay, I have to rush to another meeting. I wish you the best of luck. I would like to apologize if I say anything which is harsh, but sincerity is the best policy. Honesty, sincerity is the best policy. But I'm here to help you. So if you want to get my contact number, I'm an intro, INTROP, Google my name. My name is N-I-K M-U-H-A-M-A-D M-A-J-I-D, Majid. Google it, you will get my contact name. Yeah? But please, not appointment, but tell me when you come, because I am, like I said, I travel quite a lot to other universities. Actually, my job now is to teach lecturers, professors, associate professor. on how to write proposal. That's my job now. So a lot of headache. When you are dealing with people with PhD, because they say they're already good. I said, if you are good, there must be somebody. In fact, last week, 3 universities arguing. I said, okay, you will stick to your way, then you will not get a grant. Okay? So I just want to share with you and help you all. Okay. So, Mr. Abu Bakar, you organize, all right? Be committed, work well, inshallah you'll be okay. Money is, Confucius, the Chinese philosopher, said money is not a problem. What is the problem? The lack of money.
Okay.
Sorry, Prof.
Okay.
Hello, Prof.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have one question before you go around it up. I don't know, can we go ahead? We want to get your view. My question is, some supervisors will tell you that when you look at your population or determining your sample size, you determine your sample size before the actual research, while some will tell you you determine your sample size after the research. We want to find out what is your view on that. That is number one. Number 2 question, sorry, I just have to question, I'll make it as fast as possible. Number 2 question is, in writing your research proposals, is it permissible for you to use 2 models in one research, or 2 theories, or you just stick to one?
Okay.
Then the last and not in any way the least question is, from the last proposals you showed us, the researcher was trying to look at use both qualitative and quantitative research.
Right.
I want to find out from you, what is your advice when you use qualitative research? How many people do you need to interview to make up for your research to be acceptable under qualitative research? Thank you, Prof.
Okay. I think right from here, I said things change, but more important, you will predetermine first. But when you do the actual experiment, things change, and we don't know. So you must, like you plan to go to Kuala Lumpur, there are 3 routes. So when you finally go there, you want to take the shortest, do less traffic jam, so things change. So things like that normally change. Sample size, experimental design, but please, depending on the experiment, biological experiment normally don't change that much. You're working with an organism in the lab, but if you're working with people, with a lot of uncertainties, so you have to make adjustments. So there's no hard and fast rule. No, you have to stick to this experimental design, this sample size. Yeah, you want to sample 300 people, suddenly you get 100. Or you get 50. So you use another statistical tool to analyze the data, which requires uneven number, or what do they call it? There are so many statistical tools that you can use now. Even 5 sample is enough, But there's a model. Okay, your second question, modeling. Of course, you can use in atmospheric chemistry, which I'm involved in at the international level. We used 100 models. 100. The Russian developed one model, the American, the European. So it's up to you to see which model really fits your research problem. What is the third question? Qualitative and quantitative, which is of course. Quantitative, you measure. Qualitative, you interpret. So the measurement, the data you collect will help the qualitative part. But depending again on research. Some are just qualitative. Yeah? You look at how many pretty women in this class. It's more qualitative. But you can have quantitative also, because your beauty to you is not only in the face, sharp nose, the weight, and the heart, and the soul. So that is quantitative, you have to measure. Just looking at the pretty face of our friend is qualitative, right? But quantitative, you want to see a slim body, or a man, handsome, tall, dark, and handsome. Yeah? You are tall, dark, and handsome. You might not be handsome. So depending on interpretation. So you can use both or either one, depending on the objective. Alright? Okay. Mr. Abu Bakar. Now I hope you benefit from this brief lecture, short lecture. I don't know whether you benefit. If you let me talk, I will talk until tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Prof. Quite an exciting speech from the professor, and I am very sure we must have learned one or two things today from the professor, be it parental or educational, especially the starting issue he started with, your rights. It is an area I wouldn't want to share my own experience. I'm not afraid of my supervisor or afraid of any other professor close by. But the point is, you should know your right. If there are certain things that are not going on well, you have every right to say, no, I don't want this. I want to do this. Like he said, you paid for it. And because you paid for it, services must be rendered. So please just know your right. Having said that, I want to thank the professor for quite an exciting speech. And with that, I beg you people to give the professor a round of applause.